Good day. I want to welcome you to our next episode of Conversations with the Clerk. I'm honored today to have living history amongst us. I have criminal court clerk Howard Gentry, and I also have juvenile court clerk Lonnell Matthews. On this episode, you will get a triple dose of court clerk talk. First, I want to say thank you, gentlemen, for your time today to come and to be with me. And when we think about it, when I started this series, the principal goal was to be informative and to provide information to the citizens of Nashville and Davidson County. And as elected officials, right, we're elected by the people, and I want to continue to enlighten and inform the community of what we do. And speaking of elections, seems like it's almost that time for another election cycle, but we'll talk about that a little later. But today I wanted to get us all together to talk about our offices, how we got started, and the differences between the circuit court clerk, the criminal court clerk, and the juvenile court clerk. And I'll just start it off with myself. I'm Joseph P. Day, your circuit court clerk of Nashville and Davidson County. I'm the 20th circuit court clerk of Nashville, Davidson County, okay? I started on my journey as an intern in the circuit court clerk's office. And once I graduated college from TSU, I started on my journey, and my 5-year plan has turned into about 28-year plan, right? And so it's just been a long journey. Time flies, and we've accomplished so much during this time, but there's still more to do. Clerk Gentry, please tell us a little bit about yourself, how long you've been criminal court clerk, and your journey to where you are today.
All right, well, it's just good to see you though, and see that you've come a long way from the TSU football field, the White Creek football field, and I want y'all to know he was a heck of a football player. So I want to throw that out there. I always give nuggets to the younger guys in the room. And I became criminal court clerk in 2011. It was not planned, but if you look back at my history, I was actually a court officer for Division 1 back in the 80s.
Wow.
And so I worked very closely with the circuit court clerk because we used to serve subpoenas back then. And so I was in that office for a few years. And so I had the opportunity to be placed in the position by the Council of Criminal Court Clerk in 2011, and I have served since that time, and I'm going to continue to serve for a little while longer. And it's been a journey that, again, was unexpected in 2011, but it's been a journey that I've been prepared for really most of my life, and happy to be there.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for your service too. Okay, Clerk Matthews, please tell us a little bit about yourself and how long have you been juvenile court clerk and your journey to get to where you are today?
Certainly. Thank you, Clerk Day, for inviting us on the show today. I have been in the juvenile court clerk's position for going on 7 years this year. I have 17 years within Metro government. I served as Metro Councilman from 2007 to 2015. And I directed the Mayor's Office of Neighborhoods under Mayor Megan Berry and Mayor David Riley for 3 years before running for juvenile court clerk. I have been the product of just trailblazers that have come before me, like Clerk Gentry, who was able to really open doors for African Americans, period, but especially for young African Americans that were aspiring to just be community leaders, to be able to step up. I was able to kind of walk into council because he set a blueprint for how do you attain a positional role like that. He was appointed to his current position as criminal court clerk, and he ran for that office, and he was actually the first African American constitutional officer in this city, in this county. He's been, first African-American vice mayor for the city of Nashville. He's been just a trailblazer in opening doors, and I'm just part of that legacy of leadership for our community. Of course, I'm the first African-American juvenile court clerk. I was the youngest African-American elected to the Metro Council when I was 27. And you are first African-American circuit court clerk.
Yes.
And I don't think it's forgotten on me that we are all working in systems that disproportionately affect African Americans in our communities. And so I'm excited about being able to talk about what we do this morning and get into it.
Awesome. And you know, when you think about just when you have an example, right? Somebody who was a trailblazer, and you have a living example, not that we can look back and say, well, what did this person do? What did this person do? We can have a conversation, you know, with the Honorable Howard Gentry here, and just to continue to influence and inspire and do others. And I think that's what we're here for, you know, to leave a legacy. And so I want to thank you, you know, as Lonnell said, appreciate all that you've done and continue to do as an example. So this next part, I want to get into our different offices, right? And thinking about, circuit, criminal, juvenile. So in circuit, we deal with all things civil. All things civil, right? And on the general session side, it's anything under $25,000. Normally on general session side, that's the first introduction that people get to the court system, you know. Whether it's a civil warrant, you're suing somebody, detainer warrants, if you have rental property, to kind of get your property back, writs and things like that. Orders of protections are very big today. Emergency committals, traffic tickets, parking tickets, Metro Code violations, all those things. And then we have the circuit and probate side dealing with all types of lawsuits, divorces, med malpractices, adoptions, and then dealing with probate, you know, very sensitive times and trying times in our lives to where you're probating a will, dealing with small estates, name changes, conservatorships, guardianships, and things of that nature. We handle a multitude of things in our offices, and it's confusing as far as what differentiates our offices. And for me particularly, I have 4 different offices. We have 2 in the courthouse, now 3 with our resource center, and we have 2 in the Justice A.A. Birch building, our General Sessions Civil and our Traffic Violations Bureau. And so this resource center is kind of set up to handle everything that we do, kind of a one-stop shop. Whatever we can do to help you and guide you. But I do want to be clear, everything civil, we cannot give legal advice. I want to make that clear. We stay in the clerk lane, okay? So as we switch over from the civil side, you know, to the criminal side, Clerk Gentry, can you tell me about the criminal court clerk's office and all the things that you handle and some of the programs that you have there?
All right, and we're located in the A.A. Birch building. We've got 6 floors and it's everything criminal. In our office, our major responsibility is to keep the records of the court, to collect fines and fees or whatever is required, and that's basically our responsibility statutorily. I also have the bond and warrant office, which is located on the across the street at the jail, where the criminal record starts. It starts upon an arrest, and the bond and warrant office handles those records and numerous other things. But even though statutorily those are our requirements, we do so much more because we have the opportunity to serve. We're also required to handle filings, and filings are either come from attorneys back and forth, or also individuals can do their own filings. And so that is a part of it. But we also deal with, we have an office called compliance. And that office used to be the collections office, but at the end of the day, once a judge gives a disposition, it is the defendants, we call them customers, their responsibility to comply. And comply is not just collecting money or going to jail, but it's a lot of things. So they lose the opportunity to have their driver's license. They lose the opportunity to vote. It becomes more difficult with the criminal record for them to be able to get good paying jobs or education or housing. So the compliance office has been retooled to be able to help people through those situations. We do record expungements, which changes lives of people. We meet the community where they are. We go out and do expungement clinics all over the city. Matter of fact, we just hit our 100th expungement clinic since we got started. And expungements have gone from 9,000 a year to, in some years, 30,000 a year, but we average 20,000 plus. We deal with the media. We deal with bonding companies. We handle cash bonds. We have our criminal courts, which are trial courts. Our criminal trial courts are on the 6th floor, and we have 6 judges to handle that. And then we have 11 judges that handle General Sessions Court, which deals with basically misdemeanors. And we do so much more. I mean, the office, we got 91 employees, and what we have turned this office into is a true service office. We could sit back, let people walk in, ask for the services. If we provide them, then we've done our job. But instead, we go out to the community, we meet the community where they are, and we provide those services as best we can so that people can get about their lives and move forward. And I just want to say one more thing, 2 more things. 70% of the people that come through the criminal courts are indigent and poor. They are victims of their circumstances. And so those crimes that are committed, we call them crimes, but they are the minor crimes. And they should have an opportunity to recover from mistakes that they've made. And so that is something that is very important. And 70% of the people that come through our offices also are eligible for record expungement, but they just don't know it. So it's our obligation and our job to make sure those people are made whole.
Awesome. So we talked about circuit and civil side, talked about the criminal side and all the great things they're doing there. Now let's talk about the juvenile. Clerk Matthews, I know you have a passion for our youth and things like that. So tell us a little bit about, as far as being a juvenile court clerk and some of the programs and things that you have going on.
Juvenile court in the clerk's office in juvenile court is sort of a combination of what you all do in circuit and criminal. We don't have criminal in juvenile court. We call it delinquency, but we do a combination of what we call delinquency, and we do a combination of civil family law. We deal with, on the civil side, we deal with parental issues for parents that were never married. So one distinction between circuit and juvenile that's kind of confusing for the public is if a parental issue is a result of divorce, it's handled in circuit court. But if the parents were never married and they're dealing with issues of visitation, custody, child support, establishing parentage, all of that's going to be done in juvenile court, in the juvenile court clerk's office. On the delinquency side, any young person that's picked up for anything that would be considered a crime for an adult, they are brought in and taken through the intake in the juvenile court. And the clerk's office processes all of the petitions and filings for those cases. In addition to delinquency, we also have what are considered offenses because of a person's age. And we call those status offenses. So you and I, all of us, we could be out past 11 and we're just out having a good time. But if a young person's out past 11 and their parents aren't with them, then they're out past curfew. That's a status offense. You cannot smoke a cigarette or purchase a cigarette until you're 18. So if you're caught doing that, then that's a status offense. Runaway is probably the largest status offense that we have. And those are also processed in juvenile court. The third category that we tend to deal with in juvenile court is neglect and dependent also. And it's probably the largest category of cases that we hear. And this is where a child has been put in some type of neglect or potentially abusive situation. And the Department of Children's Services becomes involved, and they pull that child out and they try to put them in a safer placement until we can figure out the place of permanency that they should be long term. But those are the biggest distinctions, in addition to the type of cases we hear in juvenile court and the filings that we process in the juvenile court clerk's office. So in addition to us also collecting fines and fees that are assessed by juvenile court, we are also the custodian of victim compensation trust accounts. So if a young person is granted restitution and they're under the age of 18 in Davidson County, then our office, the juvenile court clerk's office, becomes the custodians of those funds until they turn 18. And so we work with six different community-based banks across the county to house those in the best interest-bearing account that we could open for those young people. And we manage about, I would say we average 1.5 million a year in victim compensation trust accounts. We've had it as high as 2 million. I think the lowest it's been is around 1.2, where I've seen it, but it remains a pretty significant number that we manage annually on victim compensation trust accounts. We're located at the Juvenile Justice Center, right at the foot of the Woodland Street Bridge, next to the Titans Stadium. But we are moving and building a new campus, the National Youth Campus for Empowerment off of Brick Church Pike, that will house the new Juvenile Justice Center. We will also have a 24-hour assessment center for youth in crisis. So to be able to process non-detainable youth runaways that really shouldn't be taken to a detention center in the first place, we'll be able to house them, have respite beds for them to stay in until we can find a place of permanency for them. And we'll have a family services center also located on that campus where we'll be able to provide therapeutic visitation location for parents that need supervised visitation. We'll also have a safe exchange facility for parents that may have order of protections or some type of domestic dispute, but have to exchange custody in a safe location.
Awesome. As you can see, and we're thinking about the court clerks and the distinct thing and unique thing that we do for the community, whether it's civil, criminal, or juvenile. I mean, we're honored to serve, and I think this position requires that position that you want to serve. You want to do it like you said, Mr. Gentry, as far as we can just open up and let people come in here, but we want to make a difference.
Yes.
And that's why we're here. And I just want to thank you again, gentlemen, for coming out to speak with that on our series Conversation with the Clerk. I thought this was a great opportunity to inform the community of the distinctions that we do, but just to also highlight what we do for the community to make them informed and make them be able to distinguish what our offices do and what we provide to them, okay? And so as we continue to go through, and it seems like time has flown. I know this is my first term as an elected official. I started in 22, and here we are in 25, and we have an election coming up. I'm honored to serve, and I am running again, and I will continue to serve because I always say it's almost daytime, right? And so, Mr. Gentry, I know I saw some stuff coming out. I wasn't able to make it, but I understand that you're running again as well for 26, right?
Right, and my name, I guess, can't say it's almost Gentry time because it doesn't mean anything, but yes. I wish I did have a nice little name like Dave. That would have been great. But yes, I am going to run again, and I'm excited to do it. I'm more excited about the work we do. And I was thinking about listening to you all, the uniqueness of us three, and really it bleeds into the other clerks, but just since we're sitting here, there are many times that we have to work together, together, or our duties cross many times. And because we have relationships personally outside of our workspace, it makes it a lot easier for us to do that and to do it within our staffing and what have you. And I think that that's a unique thing for Nashville. I mean, I just look at both of y'all, and I won't go embarrass you and say how far back I've known you all, but I will say the high school. I won't talk about the one known since he was born, but the fact is that's a good thing. That's not a bad thing. And it's a uniqueness that I think is beneficial for the city. And so to hear you say you're running again, I'm excited about it. And
I am running
Okay.
again.
All right.
As long as I feel like I can make a difference, as long as I feel like I can help improve systems and efficiencies for the people that we serve in Davidson County, then I'm going to continue to want to serve and continue to ask for the county's confidence in service. When I feel like I'm not making a difference or I don't have any innovative ideas or can't make improvements, then I'm going to look for the person that can and help them to get in office. And so I do feel like we are in a transitional period of juvenile court and in the clerk's office. We're moving into a new facility. We're introducing all type of new technology and efficiencies in the clerk's office. And I want to help with that transition, certainly. And so I will be seeking another term as the juvenile court clerk.
Awesome. So we all look forward to continue serving as public servants for years to come, you know. And I want to thank you guys again for coming, and I tell you to stay tuned as we continue our conversations with the clerk. Look for our new episode coming soon. And thank you so much.